Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open a pretty wild theological case file. We're going to be talking about one of the most mysterious figures in the entire Bible. An angel who, get this, speaks and acts like he's God himself.
Okay, so let's just dive right into this question, because the answer, well, it really messes with what most of us think we know about angels. I mean, we're not talking about your average run-of-the-mill celestial being here. This guy acts with an authority that seems like it should belong to God and God alone. So to really get why he's such a big deal, we first need to set the stage. What does a normal angel even look like?
All right, so to really understand just how strange this one figure is, we got to do a quick rundown of the basics. What are the usual roles and rules for all the other heavenly beings?
So the Bible actually talks about a whole host of different heavenly beings, all serving God. You've got your angels, of course, but also cherubim, seraphim, and some others. Now the word angel itself is pretty straightforward. It just means messenger. The key thing to remember here is that they are all created beings. Their job is to serve and worship God.
And this holds true even for the heavy hitters, right? I mean, you look at Michael the Archangel or Gabriel, the famous messenger. Their jobs are super important, but they're still clearly defined. They're powerful for sure, but they are always servants. They deliver messages from God. They don't speak as God. And that distinction, it's absolutely crucial for what we're about to get into.
But then there's this one guy. He shows up all over the Old Testament, and he just seems to shatter all those rules we just talked about. He's presented as a messenger, but also somehow as the one who sent the message. It's a total paradox.
He is called the Angel of the Lord. That's Malach Yahweh, if you want the original Hebrew. And you got to understand, this isn't just some generic title. Nope, it points to a very specific, recurring individual who is completely in a league of his own. And we're not talking about some minor character who shows up once or twice. Oh no. This exact phrase, the angel of the Lord, appears 58 times. 58! That tells you right away this is a major player in the story, someone we absolutely need to pay attention to.
So this is the central mystery, isn't it? When this angel speaks, is he just a messenger passing along a note? Or is he the one with the authority, the one who wrote the note in the first place? It's a question that has had scholars scratching their heads for centuries. So let's do what any good detective would do. Let's look at the evidence.
All right, let's dive into the case file. We're going to look at a few key encounters where the line between this angel and God himself gets incredibly blurry. So blurry, in fact, that you can't tell them apart.
Okay, Exhibit A, the story of Hagar. The angel of the Lord finds her in the wilderness, and he makes this absolutely stunning promise. He says, I will multiply your descendants. You hear that? I will do it. That's the creative, God-level promise that no regular angel has the authority to make, period.
And Hagar's reaction, it tells you everything. She doesn't say, wow, thanks for the message, Mr. Angel. No. The Bible says she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her, you are a God of seeing. In her mind, there was zero doubt. She had just met God face to face.
Okay, next up, that super intense scene with Abraham and Isaac on the mountain. Just as Abraham is about to go through with it, the angel of the Lord calls out and stops him. But listen closely to the words he uses. By myself, I have sworn. Think about that. Who can swear by themselves? Only God, because there's no one higher. The angel is speaking with the full authority of Yahweh himself.
Then you've got these two other jaw-dropping moments. One is Moses at the burning bush, the other is Joshua right before the Battle of Jericho. And in both stories, this same figure shows up, and he says the same thing. Take off your sandals, because you're standing on holy ground. But here's the kicker. Both Moses and Joshua fall down and worship him, and he lets them. He accepts their worship. Any other angel in the Bible would immediately say, whoa, get up, don't worship me. But not this one.
So what are we supposed to do with all this? How does it all fit together? See, these aren't just random one-off events. They're all pieces of the same puzzle. And when you start putting those pieces together, the picture that emerges is, well, it's astonishing.
Let's just lay out the profile we've built. He speaks in the first person, as God. He swears oaths by his own name. The Bible even says God's own name is in him. And he has the authority to forgive sin. I mean, come on, that's a job description that goes way beyond what any other angel is allowed to do.
But honestly, the biggest clue might not be what he did, but when he stopped doing it. Think about it. For centuries, he's showing up to patriarchs, prophets, and leaders. And then, poof, he just disappears from the story.
And when does he disappear? Right around the time Jesus shows up on the scene. You don't have to be a detective to realize that that timing is a little too perfect to be a coincidence.
And that sudden vanishing act, it points us directly to the final reveal. It's the clue that connects this Old Testament mystery man to the central figure of the New Testament. This is what solves the whole puzzle, how someone can be both a messenger from God and also be God himself.
And it's not just us connecting the dots. The New Testament does it for us. In the book of Judges, the angel of the Lord explicitly says, "I brought you up from Egypt." Flash forward a few centuries, and in the book of Jude, who does it say saved the people out of Egypt? It says it was Jesus. The Bible is drawing a direct line between these two.
So there's a fancy theological word for this, a Christophany. It basically means an appearance of Christ before he was born as a human. And this idea? It solves everything perfectly. It explains how the angel of the Lord can be distinct from God the Father. That's why he's a messenger. But at the same time, he is God the Son, which is why he can speak and act with total divine authority. It's Jesus making an appearance on earth long before he was ever born in Bethlehem.
And that just leaves us with this one last, incredible thought to chew on. Solving the mystery of the angel of the Lord doesn't just close this one case file. In a way, it cracks open the entire Old Testament in a whole new light. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this angel was Jesus, present and active all the way back then, what other divine fingerprints might be hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to find them?